This week we read an article about don't be a bachelor and then why it is beneficial for married men in the workforce. The first question is how does the identity of a man change when he gets married? And so in the article, a man mentioned that, when he was younger and he lived in his parents' basement, making $16,000 a year was fine because he didn't have any bills to pay or, anyone really to think about except for himself. So once he had the family, the wife and the kids, he had to step up and had to think of someone besides himself and really, he had someone else to take care of. It's a huge responsibility, including children into your lives and even a wife. You have to have somewhere to live. You have to pay the bills and food and fun and clothes and school. There's just so many things that come to play, and it's not just yourself anymore. And I think that sense of responsibility to take care of your family is a huge motivator in changing the way you work. And that's what this article basically is about. It talks about how not only how the identity of a man changes, but also how they are viewed in the workforce. Why are married men expected to be motivated to maximize their income? Well, like I said, families aren't cheap, and you want to do better for your family, and so I think a married man is expected to be motivated to make more money so that they can provide things for their family that maybe they would have never thought for themselves. For example, I used to live in Chicago Heights, and my boyfriend and we decided that we wanted to do better for our kids, a better school system, and moved to a little more expensive home, a little larger, with a better school district. And I feel that that idea of wanting to give our kids the best chance at successful futures and motivated us to do well in our jobs or to choose jobs where we can make a little more money so that we can provide these things for our children. And the same thing with this guy. Living in a parent's basement is not, beneficial for a wife and kids. So, with every increase in pay, you're able to afford some more things that are beneficial to your family. Do you think men equally encourage and motivate their wives to succeed in the workplace? I say yes and no, depending on like the marriage module, how we're talking about. If you come from like a patriarchal or breadwinner type of traditional family, then I would imagine that you have a man who already feels the responsibility of being the financial breadwinner of the family is already there, and that the woman is supposed to stay home and take care of the family and the house. And with that deep rooted belief that's how the gender roles are supposed to continue, I feel that maybe you won't have that type of man equally encouraging and motivating their wife to do well in the workplace. Now, if you have more of the partnership, then I feel like, the dual income families that you may need to have both of you um, make money so that you can have these things in life that come with making more money. If you have a wife that is a waitress and you want her to have a job that maybe will pay more and you can get health benefits, maybe he would motivate her to do something like in the medical field and go to school at night or however, that so that they can both be successful in their careers and be able to provide for their family even more so. Um, but again, I think it's on a case by case basis as to whether or not a man would encourage and motivate the wife to succeed in the workplace. Like I said, all dependent on what their beliefs are and really what the girls' beliefs are. I mean, I know many women who believe that they should be staying at home and taking care of the husband and the family, and that's fine, and that's their role, and they relish in that, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what they want to do. So, again, that would be what I would feel the answer to that question is. How do you think these findings can be applied to homosexual couples, if at all? That one's a little bit tricky because, in the book we're talking about the dominance of men and the submission of women, and then to have two people in a relationship that have faced the same sort of gender stereotypes. I don't know how that dynamic would work. Like if you have two dominant males in a relationship who are used to being used to that, type of role, then who would be the submissive one, or who would be the breadwinner or the homemaker? Like, how would that work? And the same with the girls, like who would be the breadwinner, the financial stronghold of the family? I suppose that it would be more likely that they would be in a partnership dual income role. However, maybe they decide together who is in that, or maybe there's one person that has a personality that's more geared towards the opposite gender. I'm not sure. I suppose it's by case by case basis. So as far as how it pertains to this article, as far as marriage is concerned, I'm not sure. I know that society is still trying to catch up with the dynamics of marriage and how they have changed over the years, and new laws passed that allow for heterosexual and homosexual couples to marry. So I don't know if if a homosexual man is married and has kids, if that would pertain to him as far as making more money than his single counterparts who are heterosexual. I suppose that would be another interesting article about the findings of that situation. I don't know, in the readings, again, they were talking about how the different dynamics and the shifts in marriage and traditional marriages and all those sort of things. And I feel like this article highlights the fact that men typically feel like they need to be the provider, whether or not that's how it's supposed to be. It's just like ingrained because of society's traditional views on the man being the financial breadwinner, so to speak. So, yeah, I said I feel like it's a society type of thing, like the continuation of some of these dynamics highlighted in the book. I feel it's like ingrained into the personality of a man to be the one that takes care of the family. And it's not even a choice for the woman to be the one that takes care of them. So it's just it's an interesting chapter, and it's an interesting article to read. Thank you. Have a good evening.